Hey, excuse me. This is Jupiter Exile, and we're back live for Bloodborne. I've taken care of the errands and chores I had to do today, so I think we can probably just kind of hammer in at this. Hopefully we'll get it done. I'm really looking to finish the game. I'm going to cut on a little bit more light in the room. Just a sec. If we finish Bloodborne for tonight, and I still have any kind of energy, then I'll be spending the rest of today on speedrunning some Dread. So we'll see if we can get through Bloodborne and still have any kind of vigor left. But let's see what Gehrman has in store for us. And how many times it'll take to beat Gehrman, and then after him we've got to deal with Moon Presence. So I'm not going to be making much adjustment from the way I was fighting him before. Unfortunately. The big adjustment I am going to make is if he is in curved sword mode in third phase, I'm going to just stay away from that until he goes back to scythe mode. I also haven't successfully dodged his scythe whirlwind strike yet, so we might have to work with that a bit, see how that goes. In the event that I complete Bloodborne, then my Monday content for hard mode Monday is going to shift back over to Dark Souls 2, and I'm going to try and take out those last couple bosses that had me stuck. When I quit that, those bosses had me mad frustrated, but the things I've done in Bloodborne since are actually harder. Alright, Gehrman's getting me back in the sync of it. Oh, I should not have taken that hit, and that took most of my health away. It's a very powerful blow. Now for the messy part. And that'll kill us. I didn't react to the gunshot. Alright, well that was a pretty messy first phase as well. I had just put on some chicken stock before I got to this. It's not going to be ready until 11, but I gave the chicken parts some time to kind of caramelize in the bottom of the stock pot, so it smells pretty nice. I dodged directly into that because the camera flipped me around. Yep, same old heel to neckbreaker anti-combo. This is what happens when I take silly hits from certain things. So if I hadn't dodged at all, I would have gotten a backstab. I tried to dodge forward to go under him, but the camera corrected before my input was in. So I got a little clowned on. I am looking forward to getting clips together for some of these later Bloodborne runs. These late backstabs are not getting me my full damage off. Come on. Yeah, I didn't have to use healing there. There we go. That's the right cadence. else. Dodged a little early. Need to be at full health. Early. My heal was too early there. I needed to wait until I had dodged the gunshot to heal. I can't heal during that sequence unless I heal very early in that sequence. He has a momentary tell when he's about to slash. He rotates his wrists outwards. I hate that creature. I hate fights that have tells like that. Like, it is wild to recognize when you... Oh, I need to get blood vials. It's wild to recognize, like... Oh, yeah. The tell for that is he rotates his wrists. Some of the subtlest things you can imagine sometimes. But yeah, his stance widens out just a bit before he starts cutting. And I think that's only for the combo. I'm not sure. But I need to be reacting to that. Other videos I've seen on this, using a gunshot to interrupt his multi-slash combo is inconsistent no matter who I've seen do it. Which means I'm not going to beat myself up if I'm inconsistent in my handling of that attack. It looks like that combo sequence he does just tends to make gunshots miss. Part of me wants to come back to this sometime because I know I could do it so much more cleanly. But apart from that, it's been a bit of a miserable experience. Just these later bosses, the DLC content has been especially rough, and the hitboxing on a Bryatos is really not fun. Get away from the other one? Too late. Okay. Yep. I tried to roll out the last moment. I needed to either commit to continuing a backstab chain on the second pig, or I needed to run out a lot faster. That happens when I haven't been at this for a bit. That's the other thing, is part of me wants to do another cleaner Bloodborne run at some point, but I know I don't want to do it right away, and being away from the game will get me out of the rhythm for the way dodging and attacking works in this game. As it is a bit unlike the cadence in other Dark Souls games, specifically the lock-on camera is very uncooperative, and the fact that you have two different styles of dodging for being locked on versus locked off. I think Sekiro shares some of those traits, but Sekiro has those very nice, generous block parry windows that you can work with. And indeed, that's what the game is built to do, so it doesn't have nearly the same feel of this. Bloodborne is peculiar. It has a very fast feel, but when you're on the defense, it feels, I think, fairly claustrophobic. Precisely because so many enemies will move through you or past you, and the camera has this very sudden wraparound. That's probably enough blood vials for now. Once I get back in the rhythm, I won't be using them as fast. So I'm not going to bother with all three pigs right now. coffee's about depleted. I might get some tea later. I picked up some more during the week. Nice and stocked up. Let's check on weapon repairs. I could also stick on this or come back to the run in order to finish out the Chalice dungeons, but the BL4 Chalice dungeons have really been such a miserable experience. I understand that overworld dungeons are going to be a big factor in Elden Ring. We're definitely going to wait to see how that shakes out. Took a hit there. Same old. I really need to find out how to stop taking a hit when I do the 2-hit sequence and he follows up with the charged attack. The other option is, if he does that, I could just die and move on and just try to go for a run where he doesn't do that setup. If I didn't have to be wary of that setup in Phase 3, I could use that as an approach, but I have to be wary of that in Phase 3, and I don't want to lose a run on that. I think the answer is I have to take only one attack instead of taking 2, and focus on the bigger openings that I get. I have enough large openings for Phase 1 that I can just make use of those. And just do 1 hit in that case. That attack missed for reasons I don't understand. My gunshot, that is. That's very nice. Dang it. A clean hit will get me there. It's very difficult to react correctly in his phase without being in that phase without being too trigger happy on the dodge. As an early dodges have been messing me up a lot, specifically on his shotgun pull. But the sword attack telegraphs are very, very subtle and very short. Still, that was a fairly good first phase. Pretty clean. Quite get the backstab. Ouch. I had no idea what was going on because of the cross in the way. Sword rally. You have to, if I take the hit, I want to take the visceral, and then I can get a heal after the visceral too, which is kind of nice. Okay, that one he hit behind him. My handling of that attack can't be fully consistent. There's a lot of weird positioning that's happening regarding that attack. Please stop trading with me. Just get shot. I absolutely hate this second phase. All the time he winds up on a wall, and I can't dodge him successfully when he's on the wall. and he loves to just dodge out and not actually give me an opening to hit him in between his moves. So I have no idea how many moves I have to wait for before I can actually take swings. It's just it's just an inconsistent jumble, and if I had health to trade shots with him, I wouldn't mind. If I had the defenses to not be instantly killed by a shotgun, it wouldn't be that big a deal. It's just a mess at BL4. But I've gotten lucky on that phase often enough. If I can be consistent on the third phase, it's fine. No backstab for me today. No clean counters either. Yeah, if he follows that up with the jump, I'm generally not going to die. Right. Back out of that. Followed up with a jump twice. That's the trick of it. If he doesn't follow it up with a jump, it wouldn't be lethal if it hits me. But I need to counter it preemptively. If he goes for the jump, I don't need to counter it preemptively. And it's a bigger payoff if I successfully avoid the jump. But I can't give up opportunities on a 50-50 that I might get a bigger opportunity. It's not that big a difference. There we go. Forgot that my dodge on that needs to be really preemptive to give me the right amount of time to buffer in the gunshot. Like I said, it's just a mess of a boss fight. All of my inputs just need to be incredibly fast. Camera wrapped around in a funny way on that jump attack. Dang it. I can only get a heal during that phase if he performs a rolling attack. Any other time I try to make a heal, it will be unsafe. It's just unnerving to avoid attacks and not be able to get off a single light before he starts doing something else. Right, that's the tracking attack. I'm supposed to counter that. Take one heal there. Okay, I didn't get out of my hit stun fast enough for some reason. Only attack that lets me get the counter punish. Appreciate how these camera movements look. Like, just observe how unfun all those camera swirls are while you're fighting him locked on. Backstab. This is an attack that is... I can go in and get some hits on that if he does it too close to me. It's a big explosion type of thing. Okay. Back to the patterns I'm used to, right? Right? Please don't have a damage buff. I have no idea if he does. got poise. Okay, Whirlwind Cutter got me. I still don't know how that move works. So moving underneath him is not an answer for Whirlwind Cutter. I think with that, it probably has a set range. Moving straight away is probably my best bet. Might be that I have to zigzag it somewhat, which would be very annoying. Yeah, so I think we've got phase 1 okay. Phase 2 is definitely an RNG fest. Phase 3 we've got a strategy to approach now, so. Alright, dodged back into that, because I didn't know how far it was going to fly. Need to perform another move so I can have a safe heal. Wasn't far enough away. Okay, yeah. There is a level of consistency to the jump spacing, but I do not understand it. I think it's mostly because the floor of this arena is just a blur to me. It's a blur and it's a slope. Like, it's a blurry slope. So as far as I'm concerned, when he goes for the leap, he could wind up about anywhere. And sometimes he winds up at that perfect distance where I can just backstab him. Back dodging it is probably always going to be incorrect. I'm just getting conditioned to back dodging because it's how I respond to his other movements. Like that one. And see there, I back dodge and it's correct because he decided to jump when he was pretty much adjacent to me. And that's the difference. It's relative spacing. Get off the wall. I just didn't dodge the 4th or 5th shotgun in a row. So I was spending a bit of time before this to try and muck with sound settings and see if I can fix anything. I didn't find an answer, unfortunately. So I think the Bloodborne sound quality is still going to be a bit sketch. But I'm not going to be playing Bloodborne for much longer, so I'm just going to live with it. Yeah. He didn't do a follow-up, so my gun counter went amiss, and I needed to back off after that. This has got to be real something to watch on a no guns run. Some people do BL4 no guns. I certainly respect that because there's a lot of bosses where I need to use guns to get by. That's a nice chunk of damage. space so much. Ah! It's just on the wall by the gravestones. The moment I took a dodge of my own volition, he killed me. I'm not supposed to dodge. That's what I get. Like, I dodged without him using an attack, so I died. There we go. Yeah, once I had done one bad dodge there, it was very difficult to recover from, and that the dodge in was the incorrect dodge. I didn't have time to dodge out twice, which is what I needed to do to live. And it was another case where I buffered counter, buffered dodge, but he didn't perform the follow-up attack, so my counter didn't land. To. Okay, I live because his follow-up was the jump. Oh, he picked me up on the start of the jump, which I did not know was a thing. So apparently the jump startup can pick you up. So I took a little too much of a step forward. I guess just strafing backwards is probably okay there, because it's not going to strafe me backwards enough to get hit if he's using it from that range. Probably. Still an attack with a very inconsistent feel. Oh, he didn't get countered. I have no idea why, because that time he was prepping an attack. But the attack got interrupted without countering him. I was pretty certain I had that. That's probably inputting it too fast on my end. I traded the shot. Now I failed for going too early, and now I'm going too late. That hit me. I was like on top of him, I guess. visceral for some reason. Counter. There we go. By the tree. Okay, that hasn't happened before. I've seen other people's setups where they go for R1 L1 whenever they get an opening in phase 2, but the L1's not guaranteed and it gets you out of the loop on the boss. So I'm just going for R1s because he lets me circle him with that a lot of the time. If I do R1 2 steps R1, sometimes he lets me get off as many as 4 of them, and it's the only really consistent way I've found of hurting him in that phase. Because he won't put away the curved sword at any point in time. Come on. That's a lot of damage. It ate my triangle input. That's his big burst attack. I'll just stay out of it. Could you go back to... There we go. I still have no idea what that attack actually looks like. I should have looked at the ground. I needed to unlock. Jesus. Okay. I think he's got, from what I recall, he's got 2 attacks that do that rise into the air pattern. One of them is the whirlwind, the other is a dive. I think they both have the same answer of just run away and he'll miss. So when he goes into the air, I just need to leave. Yeah, it's when he's jumping at me from a higher elevation, it gets super weird. Okay, that'll kill me. Can't get hit by Neckbreaker. Yeah, there's something about starting the attack from the higher elevation that makes him like hover and do a weird... He stops short for some reason. I think the game has a very peculiar handling of verticality. We've seen that screw with some other boss patterns. Especially dashing attacks from bosses interact poorly with elevation change. Oh, okay. That hit over there because he was twisted, I guess? Yeah, twisted. That'll pick me up and kill me. I needed to dodge backwards. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 different ways of handling the leaping attack based on the context of exactly the distance. That jump attack was completely bizarre. I suppose he can go into slashes without using a full-blown tracking combo. And that one was a tracking combo. He, like, clipped up next to me. Garmin knows that moving your legs is for squares. You should just teleport to people. My dodge direction was completely thrown off by a camera swerve there, so I was lucky that I happened to not be in range after that happened. Please sit still. Please go back to using a scythe. You and I will have no words until you're using a scythe. How much is shooting him do? Apparently nothing. Whiff from this range. Please switch back to scythe mode. You're not going to interact while you're in third phase with curved sword. If he goes for Moonstare again, I'll run over. There we go, scythe mode. Dang it! Okay, so that is a dash that I need to dodge. I loosely understood the tracking on that attack was not supposed to be very good. It doesn't have to be. It's a huge attack. Yeah, we want him to be in scythe mode, but we want to be within the range of his regular scythe attack, so he goes back to his phase 1 stuff. I've also been messing up my phase 3 transition. I'm not waiting long enough to do the backstab, and it's not giving me credit for it. Please let me actually land an attack. Jeez. It's like 3 combo strings in a row, he just dodges away. I'm starting to think I'm going to have to learn to get a counter on his second slash when he does the 1-2. So I can just have more interactivity with the second phase. Okay, yeah, it ends behind him somewhat. I have to be a little bit to the right of his back when that ends. Okay, no gun counter. Didn't stagger him at all. All right. There we go. My timing was wrong on that shotgun dodge as well. He just didn't update his tracking to my dodge direction. Yeah, he is pretty bad in the second phase at attacking anything to his left or right. If you're not directly in front of him, he usually won't attack you without like pivoting first. So it's just kind of like he pivots until he backsteps to get out of whatever you're doing. He stopped short. Again. And there he didn't stop short. I see. It hits pretty close behind him. There we go. I pressed on circle early there, but I delayed my release to delay my dodge, and it worked. Look how silly this phase is. When it works, it's silly. That's his moon attack. I could get a couple more hits on him, but it hasn't been going well. Scythe mode. Okay, that's the one that's been killing me. That's the other one that killed me. Okay, he does have a damage boost in third phase, because that isn't always lethal. That's not lethal in the first phase. So that was one that I needed to stand still instead of dodging backwards, and then I might have been able to get a backstab off of him. At that amount of health, a backstab is really close to lethal. Not because the backstab itself is lethal, but because I can follow it up with a transform and then possibly hit him 1 or 2 times before he goes into his next attack, which would kill. Almost. He might have been a little far away. Basically, I was about 2 correct interactions away from winning. Yeah, that's a short hop. There's no difference in the telegraph or anything. It's literally just the attack is bugged. I'll just take that death. Why did they have to make this arena a slope, man? Come on. Oh, I was hoping. Please get off that stupid wall. All that time for me to get in like 1 more hit. This boss is not as annoying as Half-Light, but it's pretty bad. Let's see. How does he compare to Maria? He's probably not as bad as Maria. There's just a lot of glaring inconsistency in the way his moves work. Maria's not inconsistent, she's just consistently bullshit. From my recollection, Gehrman is harder than the final boss. So, hopefully that is an accurate recollection. Can't be certain if that is going to apply to a BL4 run. There we go. these counters misses in the first phase, it's training me to avoid a problem that could happen in the third phase. Lay off the flipping wall. Back to Scythe. Thank you. Now out. That attack is big. That's the one that killed me before. No idea where it's going or what it's doing. I don't know what that is. He transformed. Dang it. It's a weapon transform. I'm probably not going to be able to kill him now, because he used only like one counterable attack for that entire string of stuff. Actually, I think he used two, but one of them the counter didn't happen. No, it was just the one neck breaker, wasn't it? Okay. Stare at the moon for a bit, or like go back to what you were doing. Come on. Come on. Dang it, the same stupid leap nonsense again. I should have known that was going to be stopping about there. But after I dodged back, I thought to myself, I've just made a mistake, and I need to dodge forward so that this goes over me. If I'm doing that again, I need to buffer that dodge to the left instead, because he has less hitbox over there. I can do this one more time, and then I need to do a round of pigs again. He's actually spending through a lot of my blood vials. Loves that charge attack. Dodging backwards got me caught by that. That was too early, but the direction was good. That direction was bad, and that caused me to die. Yeah, I just got overwhelmed by a desire to be out. just to not deal with that phase. I really, really hate that phase. It's like imagining for a second fighting like Fume Knight or Artorias in an arena with a slope with all of their like sweeping greatsword attacks. And how much fun that would be. Right? Where like half the dodge patterns, that attack missed for no reason. Half the dodge patterns on Fume Knight involve strafing around him, but you strafe up a hill, so your attack doesn't, you don't actually dodge him. And then you do dodge some of his attacks, but then he just leaps back, and you don't get to punish. Honestly, just the entirety of Fume Knight's second phase, if he didn't have that slow burn attack, would be absolutely nightmarish, and this kind of feels like that. He's just running at you constantly, doing all sorts of attacks. You have to dodge all of them perfectly, and every now and then you can get in on R1. That's it. If it wasn't for this weird psych out behavior where you go for him and he completely forgets how he's supposed to function and just lets you hit him 6 times. Completely miserable. Okay. I missed my dodge timing. Well, there's 20 blood vials. That's cool. There we go. So I've got the BL4 boss compilations up on YouTube, everything up to Logarius. That's enough blood vials for now. Sort of. The fight with Logarius, I don't have public yet. I've uploaded it, but I needed to make some adjustments to the description. I've been getting the I need to get the end screen changed over, and I've been making sure that every boss upload clip has the links to the videos that I used for it. And as I get on, it's more videos, more source videos per compilation, so I have to like make sure I have all the right clips. I was doing some Dark Souls 3 editing, and I found that not all of my Dark Souls 3 videos are recorded on my hard drive, and I need to re-download those that weren't recorded on the hard drive from YouTube, where I had the export. Thankfully, the YouTube export has everything. Or rather, it does now. It was missing a day, but I was able to correct that because I did have that recorded. Whee! It is interesting working with the recording backups. Where am I going? Right, going to fight Gehrman. He's just over here. It's interesting working with the recording backups because the raw recording files pulled from OBS are about 30 gigabytes apiece. The final video that goes up on YouTube is like a video downloaded from YouTube that I got out of a Twitch export is like 3 gigabytes. But OBS grabs a lot more. Yeah, so there I was supposed to stand still. But I dodged backwards, which put me in his hitbox, and on landing, he hits basically everything around him. I need to back up enough out of it that I don't get picked up, and move towards his landing spot enough that I don't get hit by that, and then I can backstab. Hey, he's right here. Just go at it. Like that. Visceral here, please. It didn't give me the visceral, so I have to use blood vials. Oh, it didn't give me the dodge, so it didn't give me the transform attacks. Okay, he didn't move far enough to be behind me. I can heal after any one of those sequences where he uses a rolling attack. Okay, I didn't far enough to use the gravestones to recover, because of course not. I lost my lock on, because we were close to a wall. When he does that immediately after taking a hit, it's particularly difficult to respond to, because I need to see his left hand-ish. There's also the click sound, but the click sound happens near the end of the animation for him to ready the gun. And my ability to see the telegraph and hear the telegraph is obstructed by me hitting him. So it's real tricky. The fact that it's instantly lethal, which is only a thing for BL4. Okay, I didn't recognize that attack correctly. Sometimes I just get hypnotized by these annoying, repetitive patterns. Then when he does something unique, I'm not ready for it. That was the wrong punish, but it's what I had ready on short notice. Okay. A lot of the time when he hits me with the first slash of the sword, the second slash goes over my head while I'm crumpled. That time I was a little further back, so it didn't happen that way. That's part of why I've been able to survive some of those along the way. Let me get the overhead light on, actually. Ugh. For daytime, I think I like the light balance more with this on. Oh, I'm down to 19 bullets, so I'll have to do another round of pigs after this fight to buy bullets. If it dodges me behind him, I won't be able to get the visceral. I don't usually want the visceral, but if I've taken a trade, it's better. So I won't have to worry about healing. Camera in this fight is like loosely making me sick. Like, I need to zone out a little bit while I do this. You're alright, I can't take that transform after the counter because I can't get away from him fast enough if I do that. Or I can't take the transform after the phase 3 transition visceral. And I need to buy more bullets because I'm using like 6 or 7 bullets per fight. Looks like I only used 3 that fight. Still. I was trying to see if I could get in just a little bit more. Alright, I think I'm going to go out here, I'm going to do some farm, and I'm going to use the farm to buy more bullets. And I'm going to spend my 14 insight getting a stack of bolt paper. And I'm going to use the bolt paper only if I make it to phase 3. Extra blood vials are also kind of nice. Like most late game bosses, lightning is the more effective damage type against Gehrman. Right, that's not what I meant to do. Wrong button. Alright, one more. Next pig, please. I think maybe 2.5 hours worth of attempts ago, I farmed up like 150 Quicksilver bullets. And that's gone now, so that's about the rate that we're going through these. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 100 per hour or something. I think it's a bit less than that. That's good. That'll be a kill. I'm pretty sure the air rune only requires that you visceral it once. So I can kill the pig faster if I do one with the visceral, and then, yeah, so I still got the air rune bonus. Okay, that's neat. So you don't have to kill with the visceral, you just have to land it at some point. Come on, lock on. Okay, here's the visceral. I dodged. Take that. Alright, there's pigs. So I'll go back, get some more bullets and some lightning paper. And try and get Gehrman taken care of. Serious. Over at the Insight Bath. Buy 1 stack of bolt paper, please. Pick up 128 Quicksilver bullets. And we'll get bolt paper on the bar. Also got the set as though we were using Beast Blood pellets, even though I'm not. I don't think there's a much more effective set I can wear, though. Not really. I think I went back to Grey Wolf so that I could get more physical resistance. No, it's because I wanted more blood resistance. I was concerned that I might be taking overly much damage from some of the random shotgun blasts. Okay, here we go. Pretty good first phase. Good quick rallies. And that's the full health. Go to Scythe. Okay, there's this moon stare. I still can't measure the range on this. Like, I can't judge that. It's huge. It's just really big. I'd like this to be out of the way, but okay, I guess. Please go to Scythe mode before this entire bolt paper runs out. I know I activated it prematurely. I'm at the wall. Okay, there's Scythe mode. No visceral for me. Nice hit. Ah, he's out of sight though. He did the transform twice. Okay, if he goes back into Scythe mode one more time, I'll activate Bolt Paper on the transition. Don't you come near me. That's his big gap closer in that phase. It's in this weapon mode. That's the furthest he can move. His third phase doesn't add unique attacks to the to that weapon style. Ah, we got him. Okay. Whew. Yeah, his third phase doesn't add new attacks to the sword gun mode, but it does give him different maneuvers and different recovery patterns, so he can come out of his attacks faster and go into the next thing faster. Whew. This is the moon presence. If you have not learned enough of the truth, if you've not accomplished certain goals, the moon presence absorbs you, and that's the end of the game. We have accomplished the goals necessary for the true ending by attaining the umbilical cord. So we get to play. Okay, I need to observe this guy for a bit. He seems to be running at us an awful lot. That's fine. Gehrman stays dead, so we just got the one fight left. The old hunter badge, I believe, only allows us to purchase Gehrman's weapon, and that's it. I'm going to double check on that. I think we might be able to purchase insight now. We can buy the Burial Blade, which I believe is Gehrman's weapon, but it requires 12 skills, so we can't wield it anyway. Yep. He doesn't have a unique gun either. He just uses a shotgun. Does he have... Yeah, we've got Gehrman's Hunter Cap, Garb, and Trousers. He does not have a unique glove. That's that for that. And in the Insight Shop... It's surprising that his stuff is purchasable there instead of the Insight Shop, but that's just the way it is. Got Maria's gear. We also got a handy chunk of Insight for beating him and encountering the moon presence. So our Insight was at 4, now it's back up to 12. Okay. I'm going to pilot this fight for a little bit without looking it up so that I can see a bit more of what to expect. Okay, that's one thing we can expect. This is an interesting, gangly looking dude. Very much back into the vein of monsters. I will probably need to look at a guide for this to have an understanding of how to get started on this fight. And that's kind of something about these Bloodborne fights. You've got a lot more like sudden death style interactions. Yep. So it looks like his tails are an active hitbox a lot of the time. Because right there, it was like a back sweep of one of the tails that killed me. That finished me off. I still took a claw hit. I'm still trying to judge whether it would be better to lock on or stay unlocked for this. I'm going to be really trying to kill this thing before I finish the session today. I would like for this to be the last session with Bloodborne. So that's a handy opening. He did kind of a tail swipe thing. Okay. He is moving around a lot. It's making me think that locking on might be necessary, but the early segments where he just ran straight into me had me really wondering about that. I'm gonna do maybe one or two more before I resort to a guide. If you haven't taken the time to learn these fights in and out casually, it's really difficult to first pilot them in Bloodborne. Okay, so that was a 1, 2, 3, with him moving forward at each step of the attack. I think dodging through one of those correctly would get me some good openings. It's a little difficult for me to pick out the attacking limbs from his spindly design. One of the interesting things this boss does is he has several attacks that actually lock you out of healing, which is more relevant for big boy builds. That was the 1, 2, 3, but I was a little early on my estimation. Tail whip there. Okay, that's a back dodge. That was a long thrust. Okay, that was the same 1, 2, 3, sort of. Okay. Tail whip's pretty quick. Struggling to understand how we might be able to do this unlocked. Just with the amount of mobility on the boss. It looks like we need to build a basic loop on avoiding his little standard combo. His nice little 1, 2, 3. So it looks like we can probably get behind those attacks. I'm gonna have difficulty accounting for the tail stuff. Right, okay. It's not safe to move in on that. Well, it's not safe to move in on that preemptively. We might be able to get in with a timed dodge. Start getting some hits in. What'll be interesting about this is, I don't know what the boss's stagger properties are like. I'm pretty confident if it comes down to using any amount of gun, the shotgun should be more effective against a target of this size. I don't think it's a counterable enemy, though. I took counter hit damage because I was running. I would love it if we could not start this fight right at the door, but it looks like that's not something I get to choose. Okay, let's see. The audio cues seem fairly clear, though the standard string has some staggering to it. Can I try locking one again? Okay, he did the step back thing. Oh, that chunk of damage for like 3 hits? Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of health. I do need to figure out how to avoid that back dodge effect capably. That's a 5-hit combo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I need to dodge forward and to the left for that, probably, through the last attack. How much of this can I figure out? Interesting. than I expected. Step back. I lost my view on him for a bit. It's going to be difficult to be in the right range to punish a lot of these attacks. I'm moving back as like a default behavior right now. Theoretically, we can adjust that as we go, especially if I'm able to figure out staggering patterns on the boss or get parts breaks. Peculiar type of cadence to work on. Looks like it likes to use that at a fairly advanced range for the tail whips. That's different. Okay, that's the attack that takes you to 1 health. Gives you a long time to recover, though. Ow. Yeah. Yeah, we're at the no healing allowed state right now. I can see the debuff on the screen. What was that last? Okay, I can see there's a secondary effect that's causing blood bursts. Okay, he got me. He's down to half. So the effect that is going to cause us to go down to 1 health is basically unavoidable. It's just the thing he does. The effects that cause us to not be able to take healing is based on whether or not he hits us with one of the blood splashes. That is... I'm still understanding the telegraph for that. It's like this floating light ball thing that pops and showers blood around. But it's indistinct. It's hard for me to tell how far away it is. Okay, can't dodge in on that. Okay, I wanted to just take a break and back out for a sec. Ouch. Whoops. Can't be focused on purely putting away. We can rally up the damage from that effect, and it gives us a lot of opportunity to do so. Which is a pretty big deal. Shoot, I read that wrong. That was his big angry combo. Well, a little under half. He doesn't have a lot of health. Does not have a lot of health. If I can get if I throw in a buff when I'm punishing the death stare, that might really help out. I was ambivalent after taking a really big hit like that to start with. So its various different clawing attacks are mostly frontal. It's got a pretty good sound cue to them. So the cadence isn't that hard to understand, roughly. I don't have an exact understanding of the attacks, but from my performance in the boss fight so far, that doesn't seem to be necessary. He doesn't seem to gain any, like, big changes in his behavior. Okay, I dodged back in at the wrong time. Just trying to get through that attack. I'd say that's one of the things that's giving me more problems is his just like long reach initial swipe. Definitely clipping me a lot. I've been spending a lot of blood vials so far. I want to cut back. I think this guy actually might be counterable at certain bits. I don't know. It'd be pretty wild with the way his attack pattern works. Oh, okay. Got caught. So the fact that I was able to avoid his initial reaching attack and get into attacks was pretty cool. I didn't clearly read that out beforehand. I knew the timing of the attack, but I didn't realize until he had executed it that it was just one of the forward lunge reaches. He has enough different hand swipey things that his exact combos are pretty difficult to discern. Aha, I read his departure attack correctly. Yeah, he definitely seems to get into modes where he wants to just kind of clamber at you. And if you just respect, well, or disrespect that, you can get something out of it, it seems. Yeah, glare. Ah, that's bad. Yeah, okay. Couldn't take that hit. But yeah, if I just run back in and do light, transform, I'll rally completely from his death stare. Which makes that a nice big vulnerability window. That's cool. Oh, I thought that was the wrong dodge, and that I was going to die. He does a little bit of a snarl before he does the exit attack. Shoot, I was a little bit too in his craw. Needed to be a little off to the side. How did I wind up there? Okay, I see. I needed to do probably one more dodge after my, like, roll in, attack, transform. I should have rolled again, probably. It's just while he was attacking, I wound up getting marched a little bit closer to the center of his model, and one of those attacks definitely scratches right at his belly area. Oh, that killed me immediately. What was that attack? It seemed like he was just kind of galloping at me. Okay, no, it was like gallop, gallop, and then he did this reared back slam. It was a little subtle. So, yeah, I need to perhaps keep a bit more distance when he's doing his initial run-up. My goal is to get him to go from that initial run-up into one of his attack strings, and just dodge past his attack string, hit him in, like, the 3/4 area of his body, around where between the latter half of his torso and the tails. That was the clamber thing, which I dodged, and then something else hit me. Let's see. Walk up, just grab, and then did it again. Okay, it was a lingering hitbox from something. So I need to either give that attack more distance, or I need to dodge through it on the right, kind of where he's skinny. Spindly little nightmare he is. Oh, I also need to check how much damage a gunshot does to him. Oh, I didn't dodge that bullet. That's unfortunate. I thought that was a fine place to stand. That's a lot of bullet damage. Ah. This guy's probably fairly vulnerable to firearms. Ah, shoot. Okay. So that's the range of the tail sweeps. I'm pretty sure I could theoretically go in on the tail sweeps if I could read them correctly. It's difficult, because there's no audio on that attack. Not really. He lurches forward and sits still on all fours, which is not a usual behavior for him, and that's the way to tell that he's doing something. So theoretically, I'll put this here because of the theory. If gun damage is very effective on him, there might be a good argument for using some of the gun damage based stuff. So we'll put that on the bar, because like 90 damage, that's better than guns done against a lot of people. And that's at a mid-range shotgun blast. I'm going to try a close-range shotgun blast soon, so I can check the damage on that. Or 100 damage. Not bad. Yeah. Yep. You don't want to get hit by the knockup. The knockup is pretty narrow. It's usually a good option for me to go past and get in. If I'm at the right spacing, I can hit him in the face after he lands from a jump. Or if I'm at a different spacing, I can dodge the jump and hit him on the side. There's a lot of good chances in this boss. It's just very dangerous. Prickly, spindly boy. He is stuck on that terrain. It's kind of making him a little weird. 5. Oh, that was longer than I thought it was. Or further reaching. Oof. Bad. That's his big angry combo, that's right. He covers his face for a moment with a hand like a JoJo's character. Then he goes for about 4 or 5 slashes. That one's a bit more dangerous than some of his other stuff. Moves him forward a lot. See, I don't think there's much more I can learn from watching a guide on the boss, so I should probably just tough it out one way or another. So I don't need to look at a guide to do any better, then might as well just fight him. Yeah. Sometimes he definitely just tramples me. Yeah, it's a little tricky to read his trampling attack versus his moving forward animation. It's just a little bit more pronounced. Let's see. Just gotta get a good rhythm going again. Okay, so he's generally gonna come in. He's either gonna start with the lunge, the sweep, or a jump. Jump. Stuck on his model for a bit. His tail sweeps. Pale moons. Okay, angry combo. We got the tail sweep. I can't rally that because I didn't have the health in the first place. Ouch. Rolled a bit into that. Whew. Pale moons. Pale moons again. So how much arena is nonsense? Everything around him, basically. Okay. Alright. There's the real unfun stuff. Okay, I got hit by some random blood. So if he does that in that kind of string where he's surrounded by nonsense and he stares at me, I just have to pound blood vials and there's nothing else for it. Because I'm not going to be able to weave through all that. Let's play Danmaku in the middle of a boss fight. Yeah, that's great. I could maybe, if he really gets onto that train, try shooting him a couple of times, because the damage is not bad. I think that a bone marrow shot might do a couple hundred damage. That might kill me. Not dead, so we're good. 2, 3. Okay, I thought that attack would go longer than it did. Ouch. That was his galloping charge thingamajig. Definitely don't want to be on the back foot when that attack starts up. Let's see. I've got at least an hour 10 for my, usual stream time, and I could go as much as 4 hours. I ate before this, so. I'm low on blood vials again. So we'll do one more, and then I need to go farm pigs for another round. He just ran at me. It's so hard to see the difference in that attack versus his regular movement. I didn't use blood vials, really, so let's just go for it. Getting a couple people swinging by. I hope I'm not turning them away too much with the audio quality. I know it's not good for this particular game fight setup. He's just going to run into me again. Ay-yi-yi. What a precocious guy you are. Yeah, him getting tangled on that cross and me getting tangled on him, that was a really weird, messy rendition of the fight. Because he gets tangled on that, and he's not going to move forward when he's performing his attacks, so my usual dodge through will be less safe than usual. Less safe than usual. Yeah, my usual dodge through will be less safe. After I get some blood vials, I think I'm going to put on some hot water and get some tea. Sounds nice. A little bit of a break at the 2-hour mark, get myself stretched out and all that. So I'm not going to up from this chair, except to turn on the lights. Whatever else aside, and difficulty aside, I am enjoying this fight more than Gehrman. Now I notice I'm not getting any kind of viscerals off. Or even any parts breaks, so that might not be any part of the properties of the moon presence. I think in some ways the design of the moon presence feels like a bit of an afterthought. It's less truly climactic than other bosses in the Soulsborne series. I still think the boss in Bloodborne that feels the most like an epic final boss battle in terms of the design is probably Mergo's Wet Nurse. That fight feels really good. Don't do that twice in a row. I don't like that. Wind up all the way down here. Let me backstab. There we go. It didn't give me the visceral. So we lose about 4,000 blood echoes because there was no visceral. Alright, your turn. Come here. Okay, you just very promptly put your butt to a wall, so if you could not. There we go. Okay. That'll secure this. Okay, so go back, buy blood vials, boil some water, stretch, and then fight the moon presence. So that was a pretty good attempt the one time when it conjured up a bunch of pale moons and then stared at me. Up until that last bit was really good. Okay. Put the water on. I think I heard a knock, but it was probably for a neighbor. I'm gonna go check. Yeah, nobody at my door. Chicken stock is going all right. That needs to go for several more hours. I need to skim the top in a bit. Need to have a more of a breakdown time thing in OBS. Edit these out later on. Is this the right one? Oh, why did it do that? Should be back in. There we go. And we're back. Alright. Got a fresh cup of tea. Okay, how do I dodge you again? That time, I wound up on a higher platform, so my dodge didn't work. Blood. That was quite the attack. That glare. Be all over the place, bro. You okay? That retreating tailspin is certainly getting the better of me a lot of the time. So I mostly want to stay very close to the boss because his long-range run-in stuff is a lot more dangerous. And if I'm close enough, I seem to be able to hit the sweet spot where he hasn't started up that attack yet. And then I can respond to it very well. But once he does his second phase transition, starts using the other fancy stuff, there's a lot more variability in the positioning. Oh, okay, I got snagged on his leg, and I didn't dodge through far enough to avoid the follow-up. Yep, right on the knee. I'd say that's the biggest difference between what I've experienced in Bloodborne and my experience with Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, dodging is really, really reliable. Bloodborne, you get caught on stuff and denied your dodge on the regular. Ooh, getting hit by both of those, I'm surprised I'm alive. That might kill me. I did not have a lot of rally to do. That's pale blood moves. Move out of that. Rally. I recognized that a little too late. That was a good fight, though. We're getting close. So there's no music for this, just like an ambient kind of hovering, almost like a whisper quiet sound effect that starts to play up in swells in the second phase. Okay, we were mostly able to prevent him from doing fancy stuff in phase 2 by staying on top of him. Yeah, I took a bad hit and I didn't rally up enough to prevent the retreat attack from killing me. There's a couple things I could have done about that. I could have not taken the bad hit. I could have left. I had the opportunities to do these things, but I was not in the mood to worry about it. Yeah, our hope is basically that in phase 2, he decides to go for a lot of the stairs. Because every time he's doing the stair, rally up quite a lot. We got pulled in front of the boss. Yeah. I was trying to not be in front of the boss, and his wiggle-waggle back and forth basically just dragged me to the front of him. Being said, it took a lot of that combo to actually kill us. I wonder if this fight is different, or if we can perceive anything else, if we're on high insight at the time. There are a lot of sound effects in the game that are tied to insight. Okay, so it didn't roll when I was on my get up from the floor. It just did a neutral stand up, which is asking to get killed. There we go. That stupid tail swing. We ever take a break when I want to take a break? No, it's always you want to leave the fight, so you do this retreating tail spin thing. Oh, hey, Curly, thanks for the raid. We're currently fighting the final boss of Bloodborne on our BL4 run. I hope your magic went well. You're playing Vintage, right? And to think of it, you've been going at that for a couple of hours, eh? So this is the moon presence. He's a bit squiggly. Oh, it's a retreating attack again. Oh, it was a little early. And that was just weird. How did that hit me? So it was early, and then early again. Okay, 2 early dodges, no good. Not only was it early, but it hit kind of underneath his elbow. It's a fun way to take lethal damage. Good. Tea is almost properly steeped. Very close. He's actually about there. Oh, that's his nasty attack. One I don't like. Ouch. That actually pulled me closer to him. That hasn't happened before. Wow, he just wants to keep doing that same thing, eh? He backed up immediately again. Wow. That actually gave me a critical. Hitting him in the face is important. That stare? Fully rallied. Okay, we got showered with some pale blood, so we're not going to be able to heal except for rallying. What is that one? Oh, that's him recovering? Whew. Okay, that's his healing animation for restoring cripple. This is going to be several pale blood. Wrong gun. That I can punish. Uh-oh. No! Oh, man. Okay, so I'm just having trouble getting transitions off in that third phase when he's really cross and he does nothing but pale blood for a while. But I had an opportunity there and it just took me too long to benefit from it. I need to stay on top of him a bit more, even if he's doing the Pale Moon summoning. This is probably a little premature on the bolt paper. It seems like it might be doing a loose third phase behavior where he's just more aggressive about using certain attacks. That'll kill me, that's fine. Because he's definitely pivoting to doing certain things a lot more aggressively. Almost in a loop. Oh, I also know what his recovery animation looks like, which is really weird. But that's a fine opening for big damage. Ouch, I did not dodge that correctly, so we'll die. This is going to be interesting to capture clips of later. Have like really, really good fight in the next one. Die immediately. That's kind of what we're looking at here with this fight. We only need to get with so many really good dodges, because his health is not that high. Ah, he hit us with both parts of the retreating attack. Usually the first part's been with him. He's got one bit that happens really close to him, and one bit that happens on a delay that is the tail sweep. Ugh. Teabag out of this team before it gets overly bitter. There you go. Excuse me. Bless me, sorry. It's a little haughty to say bless me. Seem natural at the moment. Oh, both parts hit me, but I didn't die. There we go. Okay, I need to not roll forward on that. Just a lot of blood vials for not getting through that, but I did make it to the second phase. So I'm trying to think about how to hit him in the head more actively. It seems like I can only really solidly get headshots in after his leap, but only a very basic, maybe R1L1. And the reason I got the Visceral before was because he did that particular sequence several times. Also might have had to do with like slow pipe and weird stuff. Oh, that one shot. Yeah, I was completely at full. And that was his second grab as part of the charging attack. Or his second swing on the charging attack. I can see his charging attack more clearly now, so I feel like I'm not fully obligated to play around him not using it. So usually I would just stick close to him to say, okay, you're not going to get this charge on me. It seems like that particular attack string, he only likes to go the full distance and end it with the 5th attack if I'm in front of him. It's a contextual follow-up. Kind of interesting this dude has no phase. No phase, somewhat clearly has a head. Ouch. If I could read that out, that would also be a pretty good time to hit him in the face. Oh, I looked away. Not dead. Cool. That same attack. Oh, that's the tail one, not the stair. That's a good critical. Ah, it was the trample. I didn't recognize it as the trample attack. Oh man, it didn't look like anything. It looked like he was just moving. Sheesh. That was premature. I do need to very aggressively move in on this guy. That's my best defense, is to be about at his hips. His arms don't reach very far back. It's like off balance or something. Headshot. Oh, I didn't end up in the right spot. How did that go? Okay, yeah, I need to take an extra dodge when I hit that spot instead of taking an attack. I couldn't find a good way out. I lost too many interactions. Got my health real low. Alright. Let's see. I'm having very bad attempts when he starts with a charging attack. If he starts with a different attack, this is going much better. But when he starts with a charging attack, it usually hits me, because I don't have, like, there's no maneuverability from this. That was bad of me. Yeah, visibility in this tiny corner is not good, but I don't feel I have the time to run him anywhere else without him doing some kind of really crazy attack. So I'm really just hoping to win the first exchange, have him back away, and then proceed from there. Jump as first interaction is not bad either. I was still trying to roll, but I couldn't find a good spot to be. I am losing it. I feel like my middle attempts, I had a better understanding of his phase 1, and that kind of fell out of my head. I'm just not getting a rhythm. Yeah, it's usually the case when I lose skill in a boss fight, it's usually because something I was doing that felt very brain dead works better than expected, and I need to go back to that somewhat brain dead behavior I was doing because somehow it's influencing the boss or it's putting me in a safer place than expected. And for this boss, the brain dead behavior is roll past one attack and then just kind of go at him and see how it works. I think I've also made some slight adjustments to try for headshots, and that cannot be part of my standard strategy. That's a stretch goal. Okay, so there he actually went for tail whip as his first attack, which is unusual. Once again, I really wish this was a flat arena. There's a lot of inconsistency in the way these attacks are handled or where they hit based on elevation. Even more so because I need to hit him in the head to get the best damage, and I'm getting that more often or better when I'm standing on a certain elevation relative to him. That's just extra annoying to think about. Okay, yeah, it seems like rotating a bit to try and force myself to stay behind him is actually, like, embarrassingly effective here. And we should do that a bit. That was a knee-jerk roll. No good. So it looks like rolling directly left or directly right is probably the right answer if I can actually read him doing the uppercut. Every time I've avoided the uppercut so far, it's just happening on reaction to him doing a thing and I dodge and it happens to be the right timing. I've not dodged that attack on purpose yet. Golden RNG. Sure looks like it. There it is. There it is. He just gave me a very, very nice set of attacks in the final phase. And that locks down Bloodborne. Whew. That was such an easy string to deal with. I just hung out behind him. That's not even real. So I think I would concur that the most challenging boss to get through was Orphan of Kos. And yeah. So the ending of things is effectively,
good hunting.
as my understanding, we are that slug thing, and this is our dream, so to speak. This is our navigation of the realms of dream and nightmare that exist outside in the peripheries of reality. It's a whole thing. Yeah, it's medieval cosmology. The notion that space is not space. Space is a region within which gods dwell. The things we dream of and catch glimpses of at the depths of the sea, at the edges of our perception, our understanding, those things that appear before us in nightmare, those come from somewhere. They are not. That doesn't come from inside of us. That comes from something in the world that affects us to see those dreams. They are a glimpse of some sort of truth or something else. It's the entire notion of a medieval cosmology, the Dark Age conception of what the heavens could be, in a sense that is horrifying. How horrifying could the stars be? Yeah. All of those Lovecraftian influences, things like that. The amygdala. You got a village of fish people going on. Checking all the classic boxes, really. But in terms of Bloodborne specifically, at some point in the past, there's this blood plague turning people into beasts. The church is proffering cure. The ministrations of the healing church, hunters are putting down the beasts. But the cure, these transfusions that are going on, the people who are able to provide this saving grace are themselves also succumbing as a result of the treatments they're performing, or hunters as a result of the hunts and their continued exposure being spattered with this diseased blood. Just like in Dark Souls, fire is not just fire. In Bloodborne, blood is not just blood. People are drinking blood like alcohol, injecting it to heal. Ooh, and we get a little bit of Gascoigne's music box playing through this ending credits. I'm not going to go through the full credits, I don't think. Let me just get on through this. So, that brings us to the end for Bloodborne. I am glad to put a close on this run at the all bosses level. Theoretically, we could go up through Chalices and try and beat Yharnam Origin of the Nightmare, which is the kind of ghost bride that we see at certain parts of the game. I think we also have to play back through some amount of New Game Plus before we can get into the Chalice dungeons. We might actually have to re-clear some of them, as I don't know if your Chalice dungeon progress is preserved in the Hunter's Dream. I think it probably is. Yeah. And classic New Game Plus, you have your big old chunk of souls, your same insight, and all that stuff. But I don't think I'll be giving any time to that. Thank you for joining me. I'll have this stuff up on YouTube in probably a couple of days. This has been Jupiter Exile. I hope we wander again soon. I'll be back on a little later tonight, I think, for another attempt at speedrunning Metroid Dread. We're not going to be getting back to Dark Souls 2 SL1 until tomorrow. Right? That's not how we close the stream.